The story opens on the peaceful trading world of Kepler Prime, home to the gentle Voron species. The Vorons are tall, thin beings with pale blue skin who have known only peace for centuries. Their world serves as a neutral trading hub for dozens of alien species across the galaxy. Captain Wren leads the small Voron defense fleet of only 12 ships. These vessels were built for patrol duty, not war. When long-range sensors detect a massive armada approaching their system, panic spreads across the planet. The ships belong to the Savage Clans, a brutal warrior race that conquers worlds for sport and resources. The Savage Clans send a simple message: surrender or face total destruction. They give Kepler Prime 72 hours to decide. The Voron Council meets in emergency session. Their own military cannot possibly stand against such overwhelming force. Desperate, they send out a galaxy-wide distress signal asking for help from any willing species. Response comes quickly from their regular trading partners. The elegant Stellar Union offers to negotiate. The wise elders of Tau promise to send mediators. The advanced Zenith Collective suggests economic sanctions. All these responses follow the galaxy's accepted methods of conflict: resolution through diplomacy and peaceful means. But then an unknown signal reaches Kepler Prime. The transmission is rough, filled with static, and comes from the Outer Rim territories. A gruff voice speaking broken galactic common identifies itself as Commander Jake of the Terran Colonial Fleet. The message is short: help is coming. Hold your position. The Vorons have never heard of humans or Earth. Most galactic species avoid the Outer Rim, considering it filled with dangerous worlds and savage creatures. When they research the database, they find only scattered reports about a species called humans from a deadly world called Earth, a place classified as a death world by galactic standards. As the deadline approaches, hope fades. The Savage Clans begin positioning their war fleet for attack. Just when all seems lost, new contacts appear on the edge of the system. But these are not the sleek, elegant ships the galaxy knows. These vessels are dark, angular, covered in armor plating and bristling, with weapons that no civilized species would ever mount on their ships. The human fleet has arrived. Asterisk, the sight of the human fleet sends shockwaves through both the Voron defenders and the Savage Clan armada. The ships are unlike anything seen in civilized space. Where galactic vessels are smooth and elegant, human ships are brutal and functional. They bear scars from countless battles, and their hulls gleam with weapons. Arrays that seem excessive by any standard. Commander Jake's ship, the Iron Wolf, moves to the front of the formation. The humans make no attempt at traditional diplomatic protocols. Instead, Jake broadcasts an open message to the entire system. This is the Terran Colonial Fleet. Any hostile action against Kepler Prime will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. The Savage Clan warlord Grim Ironfang laughs at this declaration. His species has conquered 40 worlds and never met serious resistance. He commands over 200 warships against what appears to be only 30 human vessels. The numbers seem to favor him greatly. On Kepler Prime, Captain Wren watches in amazement as the human fleet takes defensive positions around his world. He opens communication with Commander Jake, expecting the usual formal introductions common to galactic diplomacy. Instead, Jake cuts straight to practical matters. How many civilians need evacuation? What are your defensive capabilities? Where are your military installations? The directness surprises Wren, but he provides the information quickly. Jake's response is even more shocking. Keep your people in shelters. This won't take long. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other species monitor the developing situation with great interest. The Stellar Union sends observers, curious about these unknown humans. The Zenith Collective deploys stealth probes to study human technology. Everyone wants to understand what kind of species would dare challenge the feared savage clans with such a small fleet. The tension builds as both fleets face each other across the void of space. The savage clans have numerical superiority, but something about the human ships makes even their warriors uneasy. These vessels radiate an aura of barely controlled violence that speaks to predator instincts buried deep in every species' genetic. Memory. Grim Iron Fang decides to test these newcomers. He orders a squadron of his fastest raiders to probe the human formation. The raiders are sleek ships designed for hit-and-run attacks, crewed by the most vicious warriors of his clan. Human response is immediate and devastating. The moment the raiders cross an invisible line, the human ships open fire. But these are not the precise, measured shots typical of galactic warfare. This is overwhelming firepower designed to completely destroy rather than disable. The raider squadron simply ceases to exist, vaporized in seconds by weapons that seem designed by madmen. The galaxy watches in stunned silence as debris from the destroyed ships drifts through space. Commander Jake's voice crackles across all frequencies. That was your warning shot. Withdraw now or face the consequences. Asterisk, the destruction of the Raider squadron sends ripples of shock throughout the watching galaxy. Galactic warfare has rules, traditions, and limits that all civilized species observe. Wars are fought with precision weapons designed to disable rather than destroy, allowing for honorable surrender and prisoner exchanges. What the humans just demonstrated violates every accepted norm of civilized conflict. On the observation ships of various species, military analysts scramble to understand what they witnessed. The energy signatures from human weapons are off the charts. The targeting systems showed impossible accuracy. Most disturbing of all, the humans showed no hesitation in completely annihilating their enemies. Captain Wren contacts Commander Jake, his voice shaking. Commander, your weapons. They completely destroyed those ships. There were no survivors. No chance for surrender. Jake's response comes without emotion. That's the point, Captain. In our experience, some enemies don't deserve a second chance to hurt innocent people. This philosophy horrifies the galactic observers, but fascinates them at the same time. They begin accessing human databases, trying to understand what kind of world could produce such warriors. What they discover challenges everything they thought. They knew about the development of intelligent life. Earth is indeed classified as a death world, a planet so hostile that most species consider it uninhabitable. Gravity twice galactic standard. Weather patterns that can kill. Predators at every level of the food chain. Most shocking of all, humans evolved not as the apex predator, but as persistence hunters who conquered their world through intelligence, cooperation, and an absolute refusal to give up. The research reveals that humans have been fighting for survival since their species began. They've waged war against their environment, against massive predators, and eventually against each other. Every human military technology comes from hard experience in life or death situations. Back in the Kepler system, Grim Iron Fang struggles with a tactical problem he's never faced before. His warriors are trained to fight opponents who follow galactic conventions of warfare. The humans clearly operate by different rules entirely. Their ships are positioned not for elegant tactical maneuvers, but for maximum destructive coverage. He decides on a show of force, ordering his entire fleet into battle formation. 200 warships spread across space in an intimidating display that has caused dozens of worlds to surrender without firing a shot. The sight should terrify any reasonable enemy. Instead, the human response is to spread their own formation wider, ensuring that every savage clan ship falls within the firing arc of multiple human vessels. Commander Jake broadcasts another message. Final warning. Withdraw or be destroyed. You have 60 seconds to decide. The countdown begins and tension fills the void between the fleets. Across the galaxy, military leaders lean forward in their command centers, watching history unfold. This moment will either establish humans as a new galactic power or result in their complete destruction. On Kepler Prime, millions of Vorans huddle in shelters, listening to emergency broadcasts. Their gentle society has never experienced anything like this. They cannot comprehend the casual way humans discuss violence and death. As the countdown reaches its final seconds, some savage clan captains begin to waver. Their predator instincts, honed by countless battles, warn them that something is terribly wrong. These humans show no fear, no uncertainty, no hesitation. They radiate the confidence of apex predators who have never met anything they couldn't kill. But grim Iron Fang's pride will not allow retreat. He has built his reputation on never backing down from any challenge. With 5 seconds remaining on the human countdown, he gives the order his warriors have been dreading. All ships, attack formation. Show these Deathworlders what real warriors can do. The die is cast, and the galaxy holds its breath. Asterisk. When grim Iron Fang gives the attack order, the galaxy witnesses warfare unlike anything in recorded history. A savage clan fleet, 200 ships strong, charges forward in their traditional battle formation, a massive wedge designed to break enemy lines through sheer force and intimidation. The human response defies all conventional tactical wisdom. Instead of forming defensive lines or attempting evasive maneuvers, the 30 human ships accelerate directly toward the enemy fleet. Commander Jake's voice cuts through battle communications. All ships weapons free, no prisoners, no survivors. The first exchange of fire illuminates space like a newborn star. Savage clan plasma cannons, weapons that have melted the hulls of countless enemy ships, strike human vessels with devastating force. But the human ships don't crumble as expected. Their armor plating, designed to withstand the crushing pressures and massive storms of Earth, absorbs impacts that should have been instantly fatal. Meanwhile, human return fire creates destruction on a scale that shocks galactic observers. Railguns accelerate projectiles to incredible velocities, punching through savage clan shields like they don't exist. Missile pods unleash swarms of intelligent warheads that hunt down targets with relentless determination. Energy weapons that seem to channel the fury of stars themselves slice through enemy hulls. Within minutes, the numerical advantage begins to shift. Human weapons don't just disable enemy ships, they completely destroy them. No ship struck by human fire remains operational. The savage clans, accustomed to battles where damaged vessels could withdraw and fight another day, find themselves facing an enemy that offers no such mercy. Captain Wren watches from Kepler Prime's command center, his hands trembling as he observes the carnage. Commander Jake, he transmits, surely they will surrender soon. This destruction is ... unprecedented. Jake's response comes between bursts of weapons fire. Captain, predators don't surrender. They either win or die. We're just making sure they choose correctly. The battle reveals the fundamental difference between human and galactic approaches to conflict. Where other species see war as an extension of politics, something with rules, limits, and acceptable outcomes, humans see it as survival itself. Every human weapon, every tactical decision, every strategic choice comes from a species that evolved on a world where second place meant extinction. As the battle rages, galactic observers begin to understand the true nature of Deathworlders. The Stellar Union's military analysts note that human ships fight in perfect coordination, as if controlled by a single mind. The Zenith Collective's computers struggle to predict human tactics because they operate outside all known parameters of rational behavior. But perhaps most disturbing to galactic sensibilities is the emotional state of the human crews. Scanner. Readings show elevated heart rates and increased adrenaline, but no panic, no fear, no hesitation. These warriors are fighting for their lives, yet they seem to be enjoying themselves. Grim Iron Fang, watching his supposedly invincible fleet being systematically destroyed, begins to experience something his species rarely knows: genuine fear. His flagship, the Blood Reaper, has taken multiple hits from human weapons. His crew, warriors who have terrorized countless worlds, now look to him for guidance he cannot provide. The turning point comes when Commander Jake's Iron Wolf breaks through the Savage Clan formation and engages the enemy flagship directly. The two ships exchange devastating broadsides at point-blank range. But where the Blood Reaper begins to show critical damage, the Iron Wolf continues fighting with mechanical precision. Impossible. Grim Iron Fang snarls as damage reports flood. His command center: no species can build ships this strong. No warriors can fight this hard. That's when he makes a fatal mistake. Instead of recognizing that he faces an enemy beyond his understanding, his pride drives him to order a ramming attack. The Blood Reaper accelerates toward the Iron Wolf, intending to destroy both ships in a final act of defiance. Commander Jake's response is swift and brutal. The Iron Wolf doesn't attempt to evade. Instead, it fires every weapon it has directly into the approaching enemy flagship. The Blood Reaper disintegrates before it can complete its ramming run, taking Grim Iron Fang and his elite crew with it. Their leader dead and their fleet decimated, the surviving Savage Clan ships finally attempt retreat. But they quickly discover another harsh lesson about fighting Deathworlders. Humans don't accept surrender from enemies who threaten innocent lives. The battle ends with the complete destruction of the Savage Clan fleet. Not a single enemy vessel escapes. In the aftermath of the Battle of Kepler Prime, the galaxy faces a new reality. The complete annihilation of the Savage Clans sends shockwaves through every system, every government, and every military organization. For the first time in recorded galactic history, an entire war fleet has been destroyed without a single survivor. The immediate response is chaos. The Stellar Union calls emergency sessions to discuss the human problem. The Zenith Collective begins analyzing every scrap of data about Earth and its colonies. Dozens of smaller civilizations that had lived in fear of the Savage Clans suddenly find themselves wondering if they've traded one threat for another. On Kepler Prime, the celebration is muted by shock. Captain Wren meets with Commander Jake aboard. The Iron Wolf and the difference between their worldviews becomes immediately apparent. Where Wren expects discussions of casualties, war crimes tribunals, and reparations, Jake simply asks about repair facilities and supply stations. "Commander," Wren says carefully, "the complete destruction of the enemy fleet. In galactic law, this is considered excessive force. There will be inquiries, investigations." Jake looks genuinely puzzled. "Captain, they came here to murder your people and steal your world. We stopped them. What's to investigate?" This fundamental disconnect between human and galactic perspectives on violence becomes the central issue facing the galaxy. Diplomatic missions rush toward Earth, desperate to understand these Deathworlders who have upset the balance of power so dramatically. The first diplomatic contact reveals just how different humans are from galactic norms. Ambassador Lisa Green meets with representatives from 12 major galactic powers aboard a neutral station, where they expect formal protocols and elaborate ceremonies. She arrives in military uniform with a simple agenda: establish trade agreements and mutual defense. Pax. The negotiations are unlike anything in galactic diplomatic history. When the Stellar Union representative suggests that humans should register their weapons with galactic authorities, Ambassador Green's response is direct: "Our weapons are our business. Attack our friends, and you'll learn about them firsthand." Meanwhile, across human space, colonial fleets receive new orders. What started as a rescue mission to Kepler Prime has revealed the true nature of galactic politics. For centuries, peaceful species have lived under the threat of predator races, like the savage clans, because the galaxy's civilized powers preferred diplomatic solutions to military ones. Admiral Sarah Chun, commander of the Terran colonial fleet, addresses the United Earth Defense Council. Ladies and gentlemen, we've stumbled into a galaxy full of sheep being terrorized by wolves. The sheep have forgotten how to fight, and the wolves have gotten fat and lazy. It's time to remind both groups what apex predators look like. The human expansion into galactic politics is swift and decisive. Within months, human patrol fleets begin appearing in systems previously terrorized by pirate gangs and raider clans. The pirates quickly learn that humans don't negotiate with terrorists, don't take prisoners from those who prey on civilians, and don't accept surrender from those who show no mercy to others. The galactic response splits along predictable lines. Peaceful trading civilizations welcome human protection, even if they don't understand human methods. Predator species begin avoiding systems under human patrol. The major galactic powers find themselves forced to acknowledge that a new player has entered the game. 1 year after Kepler Prime, the galaxy has changed fundamentally. Trade routes that were dangerous for centuries become safe highways under human escort. Pirate clans that terrorized shipping for generations simply disappear. Slavery, considered an unfortunate but inevitable part of galactic commerce, becomes extinct in human-protected space. Captain Wren, now promoted to Admiral and serving as liaison between the Varan government and human forces, reflects on the changes. During a meeting with Commander Jake, now Admiral Jake and commander of Sector Defense Fleet 7. Admiral, Wren says, "A year ago, my people lived in constant fear. Now, for the first time in our history, we sleep peacefully. But I must ask, what happens when you decide with a threat?" Jake's response encapsulates the human approach to galactic politics. Admiral Wren, humans have a saying, "Walk softly," and carry a big stick. We don't look for fights, but we finish them. As long as you're not murdering innocent people or enslaving others, we have no quarrel with you. The story ends with humanity establishing itself as the galaxy's protector, not through conquest or domination, but through the simple principle that evil should be met with overwhelming force. The Deathworlders have brought their harsh but fair justice to the stars, creating a galaxy where the strong protect the weak rather than prey upon them.